The dad's trip. Well, I hope they had fun at Pike Place Market at least. Maybe try out the original Starbucks. Yeah, because this one was more stinky than 3 day old cod in your Tupperware container at work. We'll break this one down and we'll get into trades. We'll get into a prospect that made his debut for Saginaw tonight and more right now here on Teal Town After Dark. Yay. Good evening, everyone. It is January 30th, 2025. The Sharks lose their final game of January to the Seattle Kraken by a butt-whipping 6-2. That was fun. And it was on national television, too. Wasn't that exciting? We'll get to all that. But welcome to Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks post game. So be a part of the show. We're not saying if, just be a part of the damn show. Chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world and in Sharks territory on the YouTube page and the app. If you're watching us live, if you're watching us on the replay, leave a comment down below on what you thought of tonight's game, because boy, howdy, do we have thoughts. You can always follow us on the social. Felix, I know, had some issues with gifting tonight, but we usually gif on the Blue Sky, Twitter, Threads, and now Pink Sky. No joke, that's an actual social media channel. Find everything at tealtownusa.com and then support the pod. Hit us up at Venmo at tealtownusa, or if you are watching us live, you can hit us up on a super chat right now. And speaking of which, say hello to the guy who does spell his name the right way, but now hides his laundry. It is Eric Landi.
I don't have anything to say. No.
Right.
No, I mean, I think it really started auspiciously, right? With you spend, I'm just going to go on for a rant here for just a quick second. You spend billions of fucking dollars upon NHL rights, and you think, man, this is a property that we're going to invest in. We're going to have good talents around. We're going to finally give it its place, not like it was the first time around when ESPN had it. And then we get bumped for a college basketball game. And then what do they say? Go to ESPN News to find the game, and they delay the game by 15 minutes. Come on, guys. I mean, look, we went through the clown show that was Rivalry Night on NBC, and we somehow made it through that and figured out how to slightly stagger games. There were a couple times where if we went to shootout, well, you kind of got boned. But for the most part, by the end of that, there was less Landi rants. Now ESPN's got to learn the same stupid mistakes. I think that plus the lower production value just across the NBCSN broadcast in general this year has been very, very disappointing. But having a national broadcast and a national rights holder completely drop the ball on programming, it's just, this is why they call us a Mickey Mouse League, right? This is why, we're still, the baby brother of all of the professional sports league. Hell, I mean, MLS is trying to put a push on making us the fourth largest sport in North America. So come on, guys. Have a little class. Have a little polish. That's all I got to say.
And with that, good night, everyone. Okay. Jules, you are also with us here tonight. How are you, my dear?
Oh, I'm here. I'm probably, I don't know if I'm frozen or not. Nothing's working today. I'm probably going to be the calmer one on today's pod. Just from the vibe I got, even though, I ranted. But no, listen, there is no need to overreact to this. I know we feel like there's a need, but the defense is garbage and the kids are still putting up points. At the end of the day, if we knew the defense was god awful, we knew the kids can put up points. There's listen, did they give a shit effort? Fine, whatever. I probably could have played better than they could have, and I don't even know how to fucking ice skate. But we knew coming into this year, this team was going to be bad. They don't really, whenever they have a really good win right now, they just can't string it together to the next game. And yes, that's something they need to improve on. Am I worried about that the first year coming off of landing our actual core? No. But you got to be patient and we got to expect this to happen. The defense is god fucking garbage. If you're blaming this on Askarov, that's just not right. He's going to have nights like this. But like the defense is like, once the Sharks figure out the defense, we can actually start piecing this shit together.
Jules, I mean, I totally agree with you. I also think that what you have said is one, a mark of a team that's immature, dare I say it, and two, a team that needs to have its young players step up defensively. And yes, we talk and espouse about Macklin Celebrini's game, his 200-foot game, but the fact of the matter is the Kraken scored 4 goals in the span of 5 minutes and 26 seconds. That is just unacceptable for any of the Sharks skaters to hang their goaltender out like that. And I don't care if you're a defenseman, I don't care if you're a center or a winger, but you guys got to pull your heads out of your collective asses and give your goaltender a little bit of a chance. I mean, the first period, the first half of the first period looked like a freaking shooting gallery. And yes, they got the goal to tie it up in the second, or excuse me, in the last half of the first. So like, the second half of that first period. But in the second, totally reverted back to what the first half of the first period looked like. And dare I say it looked worse.
Yeah. And like, that's I hate to say this and people can get mad at me. A young team's gonna have this. I've said this before, and I will say this again. Be happy they're learning this now and not come playoffs.
Playoffs?
Okay, Puckguy, you know what I mean. But
I just hope we can
just
win
saying,
a
be
game.
happy.
Yeah, but so I know we're seeing some comments in the chat on defense, and yes, a majority of this you do place on the defenseman, but at some point your forwards have to own up and drive some possession in the offensive zone so you can give your goalie a little bit of a freaking breath. I mean, right? You should be able to drive play for 2 to 3 shifts consecutively. Tonight, we saw maybe 1.5 good shifts out of the Sharks, if that. There was no cohesion from line to line, and I think that's partly due to having Colin White and Bower. What's the heck? What's
Dewar?
the kid? Dewar. Thank you.
Dewar?
God.
Yeah.
Like, we're at that point, yes, but again, you need to be able to complement your defense at some point. You need to be able to accept the pass that the defenseman's giving you, even if it is ass. But again, just a whole lack of cohesion, front to back, and honestly, I don't place any of the blame on Askarov tonight. I actually like the way he played insofar as was aggressive. I saw him coming out and battling in the crease and using his blocker really aggressively, which was a little different than what I had seen before. So again, I'm seeing good things. And like you said, the kids, as long as the kids are scoring, it's good to see Smith on the score sheet, and it's good to see Celebrini get an assist as well. But again, it leaves a lot to be desired on the other end of the ice.
It's just rough, and like, Dave's, just randomly saying that just bad. They can't stop anything. I mean, CC let a goal go through his legs when he had it covered. And it's tough. And that you see everything is like, CC's our best defenseman right now, though, for real. And there's that play. Obviously that's got to be shored up big time. either in the offseason or in the trade deadline. No doubt about it. And looking at some of the comments in the chat, Granlund looks dismotivated. To fully
Now,
have consistent campaign.
I will say Granlund was having the flu, right? I mean, so he's been dealing with it. He probably feels like shit. So he was a question mark, for the Predators game. So I'm sure he's not feeling all that great. So yeah, you want to see more from Granlund, but you kind of expect a little bit of drop off there. What the hell? Barclay Goodrow had a good penalty kill, but that was about it. His line didn't really seem to generate much there. Cunnin, I was not happy with his game tonight. There was a lot to be desired, guys, on both the offensive and defensive end of the puck.
But they play. Cunnin plays the game the right way.
Cunnin gets a bit too much heat at times, but okay, listen, this was just an all-around bad game. We can stop hating on Luke Cunnin, but we already do that enough. But that's what it is. That's what it is. I think Smith and Celebrini getting points is huge. I'm never gonna complain when Smith and Celebrini are on the scoreboard. We'll get to the quotes in a second, but yeah, I'm never gonna complain when Smith and I think Smith's games overall has just improved so much, compared to the start of the year, and Selly's just doing Selly things like this. Celebrini coming in wasn't gonna fix all of our fucking problems. You know what I mean? No. We were supposed to finish last. We didn't necessarily go out and buy all that much in free agency this year. Toffoli was our biggest ad, but again, adding Toffoli is also, this is something to note. Remember the last time Kraken and the Sharks played? Do we all remember those two games?
Home and home, right after Thanksgiving.
Home and home, right?
Yeah, and it got a little testy
them out of their building.
Yeah, I remember getting a little testy after that game.
Yeah, I was fully expecting Seattle to come out on a rampage today. And that's exactly what they did, and the Sharks just didn't have an answer for them. So, yeah.
Yeah, good call on that. Probably bulletin board material. Do we have a couple super chats, right, Puckguy?
Yeah, let me get to those really quick if you guys don't mind. Jerry F, $2. Thanks for helping us through another loss. Hang in there, Jerry. Hope you and your son are having a good night. Despite of that, some more comments from the chat really quick that I put on the side here. They couldn't do shit tonight. On another note, okay, never mind. You cannot take Jessica Campbell out for another lobster dinner. Dear Lord. Jules, I'll actually save this one a little bit later since we're going to talk prospects a little bit. But Celebrini 17 SJ, nah, for real, dude. I'm frustrated with the Swedes. The ones have been really lazy lately. I get that, but it's tough.
The entire team, you could argue, looked lazy tonight. Right. I'm not just going to point out the Lunds.
In Granlund, early last week had 5 points. So,
and Eklund had a monster game for the last few games.
And supposedly Granny had a fever not too long ago. So again, the man is only slightly human.
Just remember,
these guys have bad days.
When you have a fever, the only prescription is more cowbell. Landi, are you having an earthquake over there? You okay? I keep seeing you shaking. What's going on, bud?
Sorry, my computer just got a little jostled over here.
Okay, just making sure you're okay. This was an interesting one from Jesse. And by the way, thanks for the stream earlier in Discord. Jesse L, this team looked coached by John McCarthy.
Well, half the players are John McCarthy products,
yeah, half the players are from the fucking CUDA at this point. So,
Yeah. And Molasses is saying, when we have the team is sick and the other half is IR, you just have to expect these results. And that's the tough part. Yeah. Is just you hope for the best, which we got from the Pittsburgh win. but the worst is about to happen, and just get destroyed. The good news is that this team is going to get some time off, some much needed time off in essentially February. So we'll see how that goes. It's a tough one to take, and
Hey, you know what? I want to bring out Dave B. Pilot's comment in the chat because he's talking about the talent level for half. They looked well above talent level for half the season, and now they look exhausted. And yes, Smith and Celebrini are both guys that have been putting up points. But let's not also forget they're kind of due for their drop off, the college drop off in the first year, because we all know that college players, because they have less games than your average CHL player, don't really have that stamina or endurance built up. Yes, they come out of college a little bit bulkier because they get more reps in on weight training days, and I think they're a little bit more built out as far as the frame goes coming out of college. But when it goes as far as the hockey schedule, I mean, that's a vast difference going from NCAA to NHL. So we still got to probably look out for that too.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be tough because you're going to hit that point. But however, you give kudos to Will Smith. Nice play. I saw the goal again, just now before we went on. But the give and go with Grunstrom to extend his point streak to 6 games. I mean, that's really nice.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, like, not that they're not doing well, because I think they're doing really well. But let's not also forget where they're coming from, right? And that I think Celebrini is definitely an abnormality. I would expect Smith, might have a little bit more struggles before he gets really consistent. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just keeping that out there for everybody.
Yeah. No, I getcha. Jules, go ahead. You were going to say something.
I'm gonna be so real. I don't remember, but what I will no. What I will say, we are not trading for Rempe and Nicholas Deloria. We don't need more enforcers. But no, listen, like, like I don't know what we expected. I'm sorry, I just don't. Like, half the team is injured. Apparently Jan Ruda really holds this blue line together. I'm joking. I'm joking. But listen, that I believe in the Sharks that they'll bounce back on Tuesday against the Canadians. Have they had a lot of off games recently? Yes. Is this a team basically composed of children? Yes. Is the defense trash? Yes. There's only so many ways I can say that this team is shit. There's only so many ways to polish a turd. Like, I'm sorry, but like, at the end of the day, like, there's only so many ways to say that. But what I will say is there are bright spots on this shithole.
Wow, you're just talking a whole bunch of crap just there.
It's true crap, though. I know what I'm talking about.
You mean would it be like the kernels of corn in your crap?
Yeah, basically, it's those. It's like the little, like, positive, like, yellow things. Yeah. Thank you, Dave. Have you tried spit shining the curd? No, not yet.
Hey,
I'll work on it though.
Nice super chat.
Yes, sending love from Kraken territory is always going to work. Shark teeth out and teal flag waving. Maggot of Slipknot. Thank you very much. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Jules, continue on. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't think I need to talk about turds more. We can keep going.
Okay, all right. Let's get to some of the shit in the locker room. Not kidding.
Hey, I mean, it probably is.
All right. I mean, yes. Let's get to some of the quotes here. We got away from our identity as a team. You have one.
They did for like 4 games. Keep going.
That's right. We go off script and it's a snowball effect. It's been our Achilles heel all year. We find a way to get away from how we need to play. From Mario Ferraro, from a guy who was a goal away from a Gordie Howe hat trick. Henry Thrun, physicality is something that was last to come to my game, but something I bringing. I being a part of this group. When it's time to answer the bell, you have to step up. I'll give him kudos for doing what he did. Oh, crap! No, didn't mean to do that. Sorry, zoom in there.
I was reading quotes and having a stroke. Keep going. Not like that was a joke. You know what I meant. Okay, keep going.
From took the head clean off there. Okay. Speaking of that, from Thrun, it's huge. Every game should be like the start of the season. Every game should matter. These games before the break, we don't want to be on a break thinking about what didn't happen. Well, guess what? You're gonna have a few days off to figure out what the heck happened here, and then you're gonna have 3 games to put up or shut up before you have 2 weeks off. So this better not be a trend where we're just sitting back. Oh, we got 3 games. Okay, we're good. We're just gonna take it off. We'll relax. Hey, Celebrini and Smith, we're going back to Boston to do the Bean Pot tournament and watch it. Hey, that's great. All right. Okay. Thrun on how the team has played since Christmas. Not good. Heard that quote somewhere yesterday. Let's see here. Wow, Thrun was talkative today. This year, it's like we blink and then we're scrapping to get back into a game. Seems like there's a flurry of chances and we're down 2 or 3 goals. Happened too much this year. And you guys are still doing it after 50 plus games. Warsaw, we were slow all night. First goal, we were late. Mental mistakes from training camp. People are not where they're supposed to be. Yeah. I don't know what happened with Kovalenko yet. Warsofsky, I wonder if it happened with the scrum that eventually led to Thrun and Dunn fighting. Warsaw continue on. We have to skate, be engaged without the puck, be more physical. We did everything wrong tonight. Get ready for Scott Saverin to get called up this week.
No, he just got sent down.
I'm just saying, they need some more physical.
No, we can go then.
Hey, let's put him with Dewar and Colin White and just have an all, doofus line. The all doofus line.
Why not at this point? All right. Continue on. By the way, thank you, AJ, for the quotes. As always, I thought asking made some saves, but I didn't want to leave the kid out there tonight to be shelled tonight. I didn't think that was fair to him. So I get that's why you do it. ASCII has played some good games, but he's just finding out just how fast this game is at this level. Okay. I mean, I know.
They'll be fine, people. Chill. Sorry, keep going. No, keep going. Say.
Oh,
no. What you're gonna say?
Okay. No,
I'm just saying, ASCII will be fine. That's all.
No, I know. To do this in front of the dad's downright embarrassing. I swear I've seen episodes of Letterkenny with the coach going off about embarrassing things.
I mean, haven't we heard embarrassment with this team before? I feel like I don't know.
Embarrassment, extremely inconsistent.
Right.
It's time after time again, and this is where you were hoping that these things would kind of, I don't know, stop. That would be just an idea.
So since Christmas, we'll go since December 27th versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Would you like to guess how many games the Sharks have won? Since December 27th versus VGK.
5?
Landi?
I'm going to go 3.
4.
Oh.
Damn it.
And
then
that's
would have got to play Plinko. Damn it.
That's not even considering that they didn't go. Since December 14th, they have the same amount of wins. Since December 3rd, they have 6 wins.
And they have 15 total.
I remember we talked about this before. Like, there are certain things that you want to see in this team even when it loses. And there are good losses versus bad losses. And the barometer of the team having a lot of 1-goal losses to me means that it's starting to figure out its way and starting to put together some pieces. Right now, losing like this after you put together a good game, it really just screams of maturity. It just really screams that they just don't know how to play.
Their last few losses have been worse than, the ones in previous, and it could be a little bit of what Dave was saying, where it's like for a while that they were playing above expectation, and we all can agree on that, right?
Sure.
So, like, compared to what this team came into the year thinking, you weren't necessarily gonna bet on them winning some of those games, like them beating Washington 2-1, or who the fuck else did they beat? Who did they beat? New Jersey, Tampa?
They
Yeah,
beat New
like those
Jersey,
guys. Like
Tampa. Yep.
they shut out New Jersey. Like, we're forgetting that happened. Like, to a certain degree, yes, that's not an excuse. That's a fact, though. But again, like, listen, the Sharks need the Four Nations to happen more than any other team besides the Leafs, maybe.
Yeah.
So, get through this February 4th, 6th, 8th game. They have 3 more games. Hopefully they can make it 1 and 2 or something of that nature. And then they come back and hopefully they it feels like they need a mental reset.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been the thing for a while too. I mean, with this season, it just seems like they just need to get something to just let them rest before they can even get back in there.
Yeah, and Dave again saying there are too many vets on this team to say that it's a maturity thing. Like,
right.
Then maybe it's the wrong type of vets you got on the team.
Even Ray Ferraro on the broadcast tonight was saying you're starting to see the young of the youthful exuberance or maturity of this team, and I'm like, I get it, Ray, I get it, but I mean, there's some other guys that are here that are not kids and should know better.
Half this team is the CUDA.
Right. So if your name
kids right now, it's just the CUDA.
If your name is not Celebrini, Eklund, Smith, or Zetterlund, or Toffoli, right? Because I guess you have a large contract. But if you're not one of those 5 guys, I mean, be prepared for anything. I think is what the message should be. And what should happen is this first trade deadline for these kids, they're going to get a kind of a rude awakening. If Greer does his job correctly, you're going to get a rude awakening of what it's like to be in the NHL, and you're going to see your friends traded away when you don't play well. And maybe losing a guy like a Mario Ferraro or a Granlund out of the locker room will give them a little bit of a wake-up call into, hey, you either start to show some signs of growth here, or there's going to be more changes in store. Now, mind you, I'm of the opinion that there should be more changes, but I digress. We're going to go into the trading deadline, and they're going to need to really play better in order for them to. Well, if they play better, it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Because then you're going to get more value. But I think for future seasons, the message will be you need to play better, or you're going to see your friend shipped off.
Any team loves the bottom 6 grinders that we all complain about. Fucking every single team is going to give a ridiculous amount of assets for that. Is that good GMing? Fuck no. Are GMs dumb? Some of them. I have my thoughts. But any team's going to want a Luke Cunningham. Any team's going to want an Alexander Wenberg. Not saying he's traded this year, but maybe next. Any team's going to want a Mikhail Granlund, because all of those guys right now are playing above the role they should be. On a cup contending team, Mikhail Granlund is not a 1C. On a cup contending team, Luke Cunningham is the 13th forward, maybe like the 12th forward, maybe at max. He's not fucking playing center. Let's just put it that way. On a bottom team, Ruda is the depth defenseman that just comes in as on the bottom pair.
He's a
or
seventh.
like seventh, like not like fucking top notch, top pair. Some nights even like teams are gonna want the Sharks are gonna have things to trade and the pieces to move and you know yeah, and Toronto apparently really wants Luke Cunnin. So look,
Send him with our blessing. I mean, I think Ferraro is a guy who still has some value that you probably should exact on before he dries up even more, shrivels up more on the vine. I look at a guy like Nico Sturm, who, when he gets back and healthy, maybe he can help a contending team on their fourth line. We were talking a little bit about Granlund, but, I think he's best suited to be a 3C at this point and what he's got in the tank. Maybe, if going on a playoff run for a little while, you can elevate him into a 2C role. And he can kind of play a shadow 2C kind of role, but like, again, I just want to see some guys start to be held accountable now that we're going into the trade deadline, and this is the last opportunity to really put the gauntlet down and try and make yourself better before the off season starts and you start you're at the draft table trying to make trades there. So yeah, I'm with you guys that the kids are really what needs to be the focus right now. And if you're not nailed down, as far as being a young kid in the plan, then you need to be shipped off.
And speaking of the kids, let's talk about one of them who made their debut tonight, Igor Chernishov of the Saginaw Spirit. Made his debut tonight. I think Saginaw got destroyed, but
they got demolished.
but it wasn't on Chernishov's fault, but a pair of goals. Jules, tell us about it.
Yeah, he's good. If I think Greer said this at the oh my god, what happened the other day that you went to? Oh my god.
The state of the Sharks.
State of Sharks. Yeah, he's built like a tank. He had it's OHL goalies, so it's like Casper Halton, he's gonna score, but like he went basically like 5-on-1 and scored on just the insane release of a shot. Mind you, this kid, I think, if I'm not mistaken, played in the KHL last year. Someone can yell at me in the chat if I'm wrong. No, he's a tank, and I had him on my first round board last year. So getting him because of the shoulder surgery in the early second is a steal. And like Greer said, top 6 potential, built like a tank, and he's actually playing with one of the draft eligible guys, Michael Misa, who is pretty high up there on my board right now. It's Schaefer or Misa for me right now. But he's playing with Misa, and they have some good fucking chemistry. So just saying that future second line could be Sharks of, Celebrini, Smith, and then Misa, Chernishov. So yeah, keep an eye on Chernishov. I'll also just if we're drafting at 2 and shape. Yeah, I would go Misa or Higgins. Just so we can keep Smith on the wing, and not have to worry about him at center. Not saying that I don't think he can. I think they have guys like Svoboda who are not like top 6 centers, but at least bottom 6 centers. So like they have plenty of centers. It's just I'd go for Misa or Higgins.
Yeah, Jules, I think that what we're going to find out with Smith is he's going to be kind of like Pavelski insofar as he's going to have times in his career where he's going to play wing, and then he's going to have times in his career where he's going to play center. And I think that's his career arc is going to kind of mimic that.
Yeah. I think we'll see what they do. It'll be interesting because Greer seems to have a trend where he's drafted a lot of big wingers to support the little size of, not little size, but like to support your short kings with Eklund, Selly, and Smith. They're he's complimenting them all. And I think Michael Misa, like I know we all want Schaefer. We're currently on track to get Schaefer. But even if we miss out on Schaefer, like you get Misa the Sharks offensively just become a fucking juggernaut in like 2 years. Like, not the end of the world. And Schaefer, as we know, is the best player in this draft, in my opinion. Very
Yeah, I
good.
mean, if you're number one overall, you got to pick Schaefer, I think. I mean,
Yeah, no, you go Schaefer, and then if you're 2, I can see the argument for Misa and I can see the argument for Higgins. I do think again, this is one game. I'm kind of overreacting to Chernishov and Misa, but like if Greer wants to keep those 2 together,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
No, just you're gonna have to outscore your opponents big time.
Oh, they'll be
Because
fine.
that defense, because that
Look, I
defense
mean,
needs help badly.
I think that the team is going to end up with the top 3, right? And they're going to end
Yeah.
up with a really, really good piece to complement an already, really good set of talent already. So, as
Like-
far as that goes, I think that they're setting themselves up well. I would like to see them stash a little more picks away, though, for this upcoming draft. I feel like they're on the lighter side as far as the war chest goes.
Well, I'm trying to think here. They have a pick in every round except for the 6th of this upcoming draft. The second rounder is theirs. They have Colorado's 3rd from the Blackwood trade that could get upgraded if I'm not mistaken, or is that the one that happens next year?
Might be.
I thought it was next year.
Might be next year, but I digress. But they do have a 4th, a 5th. They have New Jersey 7th, so they do have some draft capital, and I think that's where some of the guys that are on the bubble are going to get moved. It's although I would have to think that it might be for like a player goes and a player moves. Like you get a player for a player in there. You may have to get a draft pick as well. But I swear, if Greer starts handing out draft picks again for things, I'm going to get a little upset with it and get frustrated with that for sure. So, yeah.
I hope he learned his lesson. I mean, I really do, because those extra picks that he gave up in some of those trades, I don't like. Really don't like.
Which I get. I mean, but that's the tough part is that you're going to have to give up something to make it sweeter, and same thing with like the Hurdle trade. I mean, Jules knows firsthand how frustrated that was to see 3rd round picks go to Vegas with Hurdle just to get them to take salaries into Hurdle.
But yes, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So Sharks lose 6-2. We'll mention some of the things that did happen with the media availability. I wish I was invited to that. At the 365 State of the Sharks, the biggest one I think more so was Logan Couture. He has apparently done some rehabbing, and doesn't seem like it's been on the ice from what we've been told or heard or seen. But to put it bluntly here, Greer basically said they're worried more about Logan the person than Logan the player. Take that as what you will. I mean, that's
pretty damning. I mean,
good.
I think he means, I think he's done.
That sounds like writing on the wall.
And I know that means he still has the C, but as long as he has this, he's with the Sharks, he's going to have the C on him. He said that Greer said that he's been hanging out with the guys and chatting it up with the prospects to try to help them out in some form, which is nice to see. I know he was around for Jumbo's big weekend, but I haven't seen him too much. But then again, I'm not down with the team all the time, so don't quote me there. Warsaw took some hardballs from fans as well. About I mean, even when when pulling the goalie early, and then next thing you know, it's in the back of our net at the end. He was quick to point out that they've had more, what was it? The best extra attacker goal success. He's like, yes, it does help that we had 3 against Utah for the first win of the year, but it was one of those things where it's like, okay, but he took it strong, and all I gotta say is man, if they put up a 6-2 stinker to Pittsburgh, I can only imagine what the tone was over there. Greer also said that he's not expected to sign any of the UFAs before the deadline, so we'll see. He's already gotten some of his work from his pro scouts as to what they might do if teams call, but nothing has been ringing yet. Of course, Shane, I asked Shane this here if there was anything with Askarov going to play this weekend for Coachella at Coachella Valley for the AHL All-Star game, and that is a yes. So with the Sharks having this rare few days off, Askarov will go to Coachella Valley to play at the AHL All-Star game. So we'll see. I see everybody talking about
quick
Captain,
question
but
for you.
go ahead.
Did from the media availability, did anybody ask about the possibility of trading Logan, like as far as being, cap relief or LTIR relief?
There really wasn't anything. I mean, from what I've seen, in the extended media availability that like Shang, Curtis, and Max were able to go to, from what they've said and seen, there really wasn't anything of that nature. People, and I see people talking about the captaincy. As long as Logan Couture is got a contract with the San Jose Sharks, he will have the captaincy.
Also, it is way too early to give Sully the captain, guys. We can chill. I'm frozen. I'm so sorry. My everything's stopped functioning today. But it is way too early to give Sully the captaincy. No, let's stop with that, please.
Well,
Anyways,
and that's
move forward.
and that's the thing too, is that right around the time Logan's contract ends is when Celebrini will have a new deal.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna throw it out there. You guys want to make note of it or anything, but once he signs his contract, I bet they give him a jersey that has a captaincy on it. Now,
yeah,
I wouldn't take that bet.
You wouldn't take that bet?
I wouldn't take that bet because I think you're right.
Oh, okay. I think if one of the A's gets moved at the deadline, I could maybe see him get an A. I think he definitely gets an A next season. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think the team is much more of a let's graduate an A to a C versus let's just give a random person a C. You know what I mean? I think they're much more like methodical in their picking of captains, because I mean they've stripped captains and kept them around.
Right. And I think that's the thing, is they don't want to strip it. I know that's been the case in years past with Patty and Jumbo and everything, but Crafty Koala. Can we hand out some F's to some?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no. Good call there. I appreciate that one. But yeah, I think they're gonna just wait till Logan's contract is up, and if they need to move it, I'm sure if he's not ready, they'll move it or just place him on LTIR. I mean, I can't see them doing anything else. So
Yep.
I think there's that. You got Greer gave some praise to Warsofsky about what he's done and what it's been through. I mean, they all knew that it was going to be a struggle this year. And some fans were like, I get, you guys keep talking about the future, but what about the present? And so there are some people that are like, okay, you guys need to move this along. And Greer's like, this is a process. this is a process. If you try to do it right away and try to build it up again, Buffalo, that it's going to come back to haunt you. And then you're going to get guys like Jack Eichel say, trade me effing now.
Or let's not forget the 3 first-round picks in a row from Edmonton, and still, first overalls, and still, not being able to do anything with that. So, there's always a risk to extending your rebuild, right? So you have to really choose the time to push the chips in. That time isn't now, but I think at the come the end of next off season, I think is when you really need to start building for that push, because then you'll have one more, hopefully it's a first overall pick, and let's say you do get Schaefer, you now have the anchor for your centers, you have the anchor for your defensemen, 2 anchors for your defensemen, and you have Askarov, who is clearly going to be the goalie of the future for the team. So at that point, once you have those kids in place and you've given them, a couple of years to mature, you really do need to start surrounding them with some more talent, and some veterans that can skate, that can keep up with the kids, right? Because right now, like a guy like Jan Ruda cannot push the puck up to those kids because they're already flying the zone, and he's got to do a cross-ice pass, basically a Hail Mary, to get it to them because they're already so far down the ice.
Jules?
Yeah, listen, you can't rush this type of thing. Like, I get it. Like, it's annoying saying the future, but like, if we rush this, it's only gonna be worse. So I'd rather take these 2 years, figure it out, have us choke a few times in the third period for all I care. And then that way, in like 2 years, we can actually talk about a good team and not something that was put together in 5 seconds. It's like when you're doing like a project, right? Like, it's you can't, as much as you want to procrastinate to the last minute and then put it all together, it kind of turns out like shit. At least, but like if you take your time and, slowly do it piece by piece, it's less, shitty, you can say. So I need to stop talking about shit, but like it's the same thing here. I don't mean to, it just came out. I watched this team and my eyes were bleeding.
That's what the shit said too. All right.
No, but like, listen, it's gonna take some time, and you can't rush this type of thing. Like, you can all be frustrated, we can all be frustrated, but like, we didn't really start rebuilding until Mike Greer came in, and I'm always gonna say that.
Right.
And even then, it was like, we might rebuild, we might not. And then they finally realized they had to rebuild, and we selected Philip Beested, and there's that. Philip Beested was arguably the first pick of the rebuild, even though you could argue Eklund was. But at that time, they thought Eklund was going to be the solution to make them competitive.
Yeah. No, big time. Big time. So that's all we got.
I don't think we ever thought the Sharks would be at the 8th pick. I genuinely don't think that. I don't remember him saying that, but
No.
I think next year, sure, maybe, but this year with that defense, fuck no.
No way.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I think we can put or really quickly, if you guys want to talk about that Calgary Philly trade before we get out of here. Oh my God, you didn't even remember it?
I know it was big. I know Morgan Frost gets rid of Torts. Yeah, give me 4 seconds. So for those of you who missed it, we have a trade to announce. And Andrei Kuzmenko, Jacob Peltier, a 2nd round pick, and a 2028 7th round pick. What grade is that child in right now?
Where's the Lacey loop when we
was traded to the Flyers in exchange for so the Flames traded that to the Flyers, and the Flames received Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost. I really like this deal for the Flames. I like Peltier, but he's going to get murdered by Torts. And Michkov and Kuzmenko played together in the KHL in like 21-22 together. So I think Flyers are trying to make Michkov happy. But this is a solid trade for the Flames, and they don't have a first-round pick this year, so they bought. Kind of. And it fits their weird time frame. I'm not sure what the Flames are doing, but it fits whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah, is anybody aware of what they're trying to do?
I think they're trying to go for a
Dustin
playoff
Wolf is
push.
getting them into the playoffs. Dustin Wolf is single-handedly. And when you have Rasmus Anderson and Mackenzie Weegar, you can do that. When you have a blue line, you can do that. I rest my case.
Got you there. Thank you, Jules, for that. So that calls it up for this one. Indeed, guys. In case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get your podcast. The audio version will be up shortly. Of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like button or that woodish glove. I'll get both of these going. The subscribe button, and of course, the notification bell, which I think Landi wishes was made of wood. You should see him laughing right now. But if you've been watching us on the replay, leave a comment down below. It really does help us out to get into the algorithm so we can share our love and torture of Sharks hockey with more people than ever before. Landi, your final thoughts before we fall asleep.
Yeah, no, I was gonna make a wood joke, but I won't. I won't. Look, I keep saying it, but let's improve on the fundamentals, guys. It's the same things that we keep reiterating. You got to clean up your own zone and help your goaltender out, and it's not really rocket science. So, we need to work on that. As far as where you can find me, you can use my first name. That's Eric, ERIK, Landi, LANDI, across all of the social media garbage. And that's it for me.
Yep. Jules?
When the Sharks do bad, it's bad. Yes. But also, Matthew Schaefer is a good defenseman.
No, yeah. Isn't that the truth? As for me, I'm going to shout out the San Jose Hockey Game Worn and Collectibles Expo. That is this Saturday inside Calder Sports Bar, which is inside Sharks Ice at San Jose. That'll be going.
Whip it out!
It'll be going from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Yeah, you'll need money to whip out there. Holy crap. Game Worn hockey jerseys and collectibles will be for sale, trade, and display. The admission is free. Everyone's welcomed. You can find more at the link that you see right now. It should be a big one out there. Should be a fun one indeed. I know a lot of people are excited for this. I think even the Sharks said they might set up their table as well with some of their stuff. So should be fun. Hopefully we'll see everybody out there. I make an appearance. We'll see. It depends on how bad the rain is going to be up here. So 9 to 3 on Saturday at Calder Sports Bar inside the Sharks Ice at San Jose. And that's before you can make it a whole week. Whole Saturday at Sharks Ice. You can maybe go skate, check out the Game Worn Collectibles Expo. Also, it's Pink in the Rink night for the San Jose Barracuda. So that game starts at 6. So just stay out at Sharks Ice and have a good time for it. So hope to see you out there on Saturday. And as for us, we're off till Tuesday when we quickly learn French and get ready for the Montreal Canadiens, Les Habitants Canadiens.
Parlez-vous français?
Oui. And then we'll have Jules sing the Canadian national anthem in French.
That's not happening. I just need to shut that down.
She is in denial. So until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you for Pucknologists on Sunday, Tuesday, following the Sharks and the Montreal Canadiens. Have a good night, everyone.